Hey guys, good morning. Happy Friday. It is August 16th. I want to encourage you to leave your comments and questions in the comments section. We will circle back to them. We are dealing with some tough stories today, but we're going to end it on a happier note, I hope, or at least a funnier note. We'll get around to that. But first, we're talking about two local stories that kind of developed yesterday. We're still talking about them. You guys are still clicking on them this morning, and we're going to start with a situation where a 13-year-old girl is accused of hitting and killing a man who was walking his dog. The dog passed away as well. Here's what we know. Houston police say this happened in the 6000 block of Beverly Hill Street. That's in Southwest Houston around 4:30 yesterday afternoon. An adult let the girl drive. And that person is going to be charged with criminally negligent homicide and child endangerment because there was also a baby in the back seat. Kind of sounds like they may have been practicing driving. Police say the girl just put too much pressure on the gas pedal and hit the man and the dog, killing them both. We have the full write-up on that on khou.com. Another story from yesterday that is just heartbreaking. 3- and 4-year-old boys passed away after drowning in a pond. A third child survived, came home wet. That's when the other two were reported missing. Around 6 last night, search crews went out since the child was wet. They focused on the pond and then found the bodies of those two little boys, ages 3 and 4. We're still waiting to learn more about this. This happened up in Montgomery County in the Grangerland area along Wigginsville Road. That's near Dewberry. If you're familiar with the area, we don't have a lot of information about these kids, their family, anything like that. Those are all updates we'll probably get later today, so keep an eye out on khou.com. And then another story we're waiting for answers on too is this incident where a toddler was killed. His mom, right there, 18-year-old Giselle Vasquez, now faces charges. She appeared in court. She's charged in this incident, but there's a video. I wonder if we're going to come up on that. I think we are. Jaime, can you pull up? There we go. Okay, so that's the video. You see the toddler running there. He's following his mom. You can see her feet at the top of the screen. Well, the woman who was getting into that white car, see if you can see it. Okay, that's the little boy. That's Alan. He was 18 months old. So mom is walking with an infant in her arms. She also has her nephew with her, and Alan is following along behind her. That white car backs up and then runs over Alan. The driver left the scene but did come back. Now the driver isn't charged. The mom is charged, and that's what a lot of you are wondering about. Why is the mom facing charges but not the driver? And we talked to prosecutors yesterday, and I want to read one of their statements. It says, we're putting Vasquez, that's the mom there, she's 18, she looks like a baby herself. We're putting Vasquez in a position where she can raise that child appropriately, and so I think that was the driving force. This is not a murder charge. Probation, deferred adjudication, things like that are available. And again, we're at the very beginning of this case. Now, the driver could still face charges. Houston police are investigating that, but no charges have been filed against the driver at this point. I know you guys have a lot of questions about that. This week, we've been talking about the heat. Yesterday was our first day back in double digits after 7 straight days of 100, 101, 102 degrees. So we are cranking that AC, right? So we're used to paying a lot more in August for our power bills, but there are some folks who are getting hit really hard. Have you heard of this app, Griddy? It's GRIDDY. It lets users sign up for $9.99 a month, and you get to ride the free market, basically. You're paying wholesale prices, which is great. You're paying pennies on the dollar when they're cheap, when the prices are cheap, when demand is low. But Econ 101, when demand goes up, prices go up too. And that's what happened this week. So I want to show you screen caps from some users. So you see their prices range from $4 to $6. up to $9 a kilowatt hour. So you're paying $9 a kilowatt per hour. Now, Gritty points out that in the history of the wholesale electric market in the US, kilowatt hours have only hit $9 for 10 minutes total, in the history of wholesale electricity. Until this week, on Tuesday, it went for 90 minutes. Yeesh. So that adds up pretty quickly. The screen you're looking at right here is what some people paid. This isn't their monthly cost, this is per day. So some of them are hovering around $100, some spike up to $200. We've seen reports of $400, $500 for a day. So Gritty has responded to a lot of these folks who are ranting on Twitter about this, saying we understand, but this is the ride that is the wholesale market. A lot of low prices, but with those low prices, there's gotta be some highs. So the app promises, to save folks over the course of the year. You'll pay less, but a lot of folks are switching out of Gritty, saying that's not really what they signed up for. A lot of other users are saying, you gotta know what you're signing up for. Forecast today, we should stay in the double digits. It's still gonna feel pretty warm, gonna feel like 102. So just be on the lookout for that. I also do wanna mention, I didn't send this over to Jaime, and I should have, I'm sorry, because I got totally distracted reading the article and forgot to send it. Our sister station in Dallas did this incredible story about, maybe you've seen this viral video of a man, his name's Clayton Walker. He just turned 21, and he took his mom out on a date. And as he was getting ready for that date, like a movie date with his mom, as he was getting ready, he had his phone rolling, and he's wearing his dad's shirt. His dad passed away when he was 1. He saved 4 shirts of his dad's, and his mom, I'm gonna get all weepy. His mom starts crying when she sees him wearing his dad's shirt. It's really powerful. You should watch the story. We will add it in the comments, I promise, but definitely worth a watch. And Hannah Davis, one of the reporters at our sister station, tweeted this conversation, and I loved it because it just makes you think, and it makes you appreciate what is something that you've held on to from someone you loved who passed. In my case, I have my great-grandma's ring. I wear it every day. Maybe you've seen this. Never leaves my finger. I also have, my closet is like loaded with dresses from my grandma and great-grandma. Super stylish ladies. Not really appropriate for me to wear all the time, but they're, plus those dresses are made so well. I mean, some of them are 60, 70 years old, and they still, look great and are holding up pretty well. So those are a couple things that I've held on to. Share what you have. Okay, Jaime.
Okay, I'm seeing a lot of responses from our viewers this morning. Just kind of sad responses, and obviously that could be for a number of the stories that we're reporting on this morning.
Yeah.
Would it be the toddler that was run over, to the drownings?
Or you feel for that 13-year-old girl.
Absolutely.
I have a 13-year-old daughter who's sitting at home right now working on her one-woman show that she's performing tonight. And I just think about what that's going to do to her for the rest of her life and what she'll remember. And it's heartbreaking for everybody involved.
Yeah, Nicole says that this wasn't the place to be teaching her.
And an apartment complex parking lot, no. I mean, did your parents let you drive before you were of age?
Yes, and my first memories of driving were, my dad, we used to have some property out in Fairchild in Fort Bend County, and we had a field out there, and he taught me in a truck. We'd drive around the field, and there's wide open space, there's no danger to anybody. So it was a great way to learn. That's
same. I grew up in the middle of nowhere. It was a mile until the nearest house, and then my family also owned a lot of acreage, so just go out in the field and learn stick shift there. But I can understand how that would be tough in a city like this. It's a little tougher to find that open space. I say that having seen guys doing donuts in a little lot across from my house the other day, and I just thought that's so bizarre. But we don't have that space. Parking lots are full.
Deborah says, do you think that would maybe be too young to be teaching a child to drive? But I do remember starting to learn at that age. So I don't know, how old were you when you started to learn?
I remember my dad putting me on his lap so I could steer and I couldn't reach the pedals. Mm-hmm. I was that small. Now I'm 5'2". It's not like I sprouted much, but probably about that age, maybe 12. But never around other people. It would never have been around. We wouldn't have done that in the Fred Meyer parking lot or something.
Right.
I say that. I don't know if you know my dad.
I mean, I think it's good to start at a young age, but yeah, maybe, if you do have a wide open space, of course. But I feel like 13 is fine because I think that the sooner you get a child learning and comfortable behind the wheel, the better. So they're just not so scared and they're just kind of understanding their surroundings.
Yeah, like anything else.
Let's see what else.
The other question I forgot to ask you guys is how much is the most you've ever paid for your power bill for a month? Now that we've talked about gritty and all that, we've seen stuff come in like people who pay $950 a month, and someone commented they had 4 zones. I didn't know what that meant. I had to ask the newsroom. So apparently HVAC zones, like you have 4 different systems in your house. I've never lived anywhere that would require that much. So I guess it's a good problem to have.
I'm kind of glad I don't. My wife handles the electric bill, so I'm kind of glad I probably don't see it, especially in times like this, where it's just been so hot.
I mean, this time of year, though, right? Like, I know I'm probably gonna. I think I pay about $50 a week. I have Green Mountain Energy, so I get my weekly update that tells me you spent blah blah blah. Now I live in a 3-bedroom. It's a small house. I think it's 1,300 square feet. It's pretty tiny, but it is a house, a standalone house. When I lived in my apartment, and I was barely ever there because I was living in Houston, working in Beaumont, never home. My whole power bill was probably like $35 a month.
Wow.
It was so nice. And I was the bottom floor, so it was like shaded. Perfect. Oh, Pamela says, can we give a shout out to my son? Today is his birthday. He's serving in the Army. Absolutely, Pamela. Happy birthday to your son, and tell him thank you for his service.
That's cool. I would encourage, when y'all see us do these updates each morning, if you want us to give a shout out to somebody, a loved one, a family member, feel free to post in the comments. We would love to do that.
Because remember, this is supposed to be a conversation like we're just hanging. Even though you don't get to see Jaime very often. It's you, me, and Jaime. We're hanging out, talking. Let us know when there's something big going on.
Yeah, we really would like to be able to spend much more time on the positive, especially with some of the headlines that we have to deal with here locally, and some of the heartbreak. We would like to be able to shine a light on the more positive, this morning.
Yes. Especially on a morning like this.
Yes.
Okay, there's going to be another update coming up at 2:15 this afternoon, so you can tune in for that. I will be off, probably taking a nap, because it's Friday. So I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you back here on Monday.